Hello friends, welcome to DentTuber. Friends, today we are going to discuss important MCUs for MO Dental Punjab and NEET PG, basically revision MCUs. Subject is oral pathology today and the topic is developmental disturbances. And before we start, if you like the video, please hit the like button. Also subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed it already, and press the notification icon, bell icon, so that you can get the notification of the latest video. Also share these videos and channel with your friends so that maximum people can take benefit. So let us start today's questions. A union of root of adjacent teeth during cementum is referred to as uh, a union of the roots of adjacent teeth through the cementum is referred to as concrescence, fusion, gemination, none of the above. Correct answer is option A, that is concrescence. Basically, concrescence of teeth is actually a form of fusion which occurs after root formation has been completed, and in this the teeth are united by only cementum and not by dentine. So it is basically thought to have arisen as a result of a traumatic injury or crowding of the teeth with resorption of the interdental bone, so that the two roots are in approximate contact and they become fused by the deposition of cementum between them. And it may occur before or after the teeth have erupted, and generally it will involve only two teeth. Next is fusion. Fusion mainly arises through the union of two normally separated tooth germs. Depending upon the stage of tooth development, the at the time of union, fusion may be complete or incomplete. Basically, if the fusion occurs early, that is before calcification has begun, the tooth may be completely united to form a single large tooth. Okay, and if the contact, that is fusion, occurs at a later stage, when a portion of the crown has already been completed, there may be union of the roots only, and the tooth so formed may have a separate or fused root canals, and it is common in deciduous as well as permanent dentition, and though it is more common in deciduous dentition. Next is gemination. Gemination arises from an attempt at division of a single tooth germ by an invagination. So this results in incomplete formation of two teeth. Okay, the structure is usually one with two incompletely or completely separated crowns that have single root and root canal. Okay, so it is also seen in deciduous as well as permanent dentition, and it may have some hereditary tendency. So this is all about these three terms. Let us move on to next question. The term dilaceration refers to a deformity of the tooth consisting of a sharp bend in the root, abrasions of on surface or two surfaces of a single tooth, a root or tooth that is split into two, a tooth that is fractured at two or more places. This is a very simple question. The correct answer is option A, that is a deformity of the tooth consisting of a sharp bend in the root. Okay, so mainly this condition arises due to trauma during the period in which the tooth is forming, with the result that the position of the calcified tooth is changed. Means the calcified portion of the tooth, the position is changed, and the remainder of the tooth is formed at an angle. So the curve or bend may occur anywhere along the length of the tooth. Next question. In erythema migrans, which papilla of the tongue are absent? Fungiform, foliate, filiform, circumvallate. So the correct answer is option C, that is filiform papillae. Erythema migrans, it is also known as wandering rash of the tongue, geographic tongue, benign migratory glossitis. It is basically a psoriasiform mucositis of the dorsum of the tongue. Okay, and main characteristic is a constantly changing pattern of serpiginous white lines surrounding area area of smooth depapillated mucosa, and because of this changing appearance it is called as also called as wandering rash of the tongue. Okay. uh, Etiology is unknown, but it is more prominent during the conditions of psychological stress, and it is also found in increased frequency in cases associated with psoriasis of the skin. So let us move on to next question. Peg shaped incisors which taper towards the incisal edges are commonly typically seen in all of the following cases except congenital syphilis, rickets, and hydrotic ectodermal dysplasia, supernumerary teeth. So this is quite an obvious question, I guess, and the correct answer is rickets. The correct option is option B, that is rickets. So with respect to congenital syphilis, the pathognomonic of the disease is the occurrence of Hutchinson's triad, which is very important. Hutchinson's triad involves three things: hypoplasia of the incisor and molar teeth, eighth nerve deafness, and interstitial keratitis. There are also other symptoms, but this Hutchinson's triad is very important. Anhydrotic ectodermal dysplasia is also known as Christ-Siemens-Taurin syndrome. Okay, and it is an X-linked recessive trait, and obviously it is associated with peg-shaped incisors. Also, there may be hypodontia or complete anodontia. There may be delayed eruption of the permanent teeth. And regarding rickets, you all know that rickets is due to the vitamin D deficiency, and the oral manifestations may include developmental abnormalities of the dentine and enamel, delayed eruption, misalignment of the teeth in the jaw. Okay, the teeth may have high caries index, so it is not associated with the peg shaped incisors. So let us move on to next question. Globulomaxillary cyst is a soft tissue cyst present between maxillary lateral incisor and cuspid teeth, often present between incisor and cuspid teeth, but is a bone cyst, a cyst present between the midline of the palate. A cyst or is it a cyst present in the incisive canal? So let us see. The correct answer is option B, that globulomaxillary cyst is often present between incisor and cuspid teeth, but is a bone cyst. Globulomaxillary cyst is also known as premaxilla maxillary cyst. Okay, this is a fissural cyst found within the bone between the maxillary, lateral incisor and canine teeth. And radiographically, it is a well-defined radiolucency between which frequently causes the roots of the adjacent teeth to diverge, and it is a inverted pear-shaped radiolucent areas between the root of lateral incisor and canine teeth, and this is a characteristic feature of globulomaxillary cyst. So friends, this is all about today's video, and your feedback is most welcome in the comment section. If you like the video, please give the video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel if you have not already subscribed, and press the notification icon, bell icon, so that you may get the notification of the latest videos. Also share the channel with your friends, and so that they can also take maximum people can take benefits. So this is all about today's video. Thank you so much, friends.